You two, please go easy on me. I'm just a poor boy who does all this as a hobby.
He's just a poor boy who does this as a hobby. Spare him this life from this content ID.
Miss Susan, please let him go and post.
Yeah, so let's get right to the chase, everybody. Welcome to Air Twister, a kind of a surprising little thing that recently got released after being stuck in Apple Arcade purgatory for about a year.
And
Apple jail.
It is a real shooter that was developed by classic Sega Illuminati star himself, Yu Suzuki. You may know him from the likes of Space Harrier and Shenmue, to name a few.
Am I
And
mistaken, or did
recently
you just say Sega Illuminati?
I think he meant alumni, but it means
Illuminati,
the same thing at
thank
this point.
Again, this is kind of just a breather thing we're doing, ladies and gentlemen, because I recently decided to try this, having known, its history. I played it and honestly thought it was pretty interesting, if not a little bug nuts.
He found his new soulmate via this game.
Is there any lore or narration we should be knowing about this world?
Once upon a time...
So here's what we need to know regarding this world and why it's currently going through through one of Valencia's newest hits.
Oh no.
So this entire world is pretty much one gigantic bubble, and inside that gigantic bubble are other little bubbles that comprise the many worlds that the inhabitants of this land live in. And unfortunately, this recent string of evildoers, known simply as the Needles, have come to pretty much just cause chaos and misery everywhere they go.
They want to pop them bubbles.
And despite the best efforts of the inhabitants of these air bubbles, they're horribly outmatched.
They attack geese!
Yeah, who knew that the geese army was not quite ready for artillery fire?
Hence, we have to resort with the next best thing: swans.
I mean, yeah, no. Let's take all this. Let's take this into account. This entire world, the militia, literally comprises of these people, heavy military professionals riding on giant swans.
I think they're called are they called swans or flyers or something?
They're called arcs, I think.
I think they're called breezies in this game.
Breezies. That was it. Okay.
Easy breezies.
Yes, with two E's, two or three E's or something in there. As far as what's happening here, though, kind of honestly reminds me a little bit of the intro to Dragoon, where you're just tossed in, you're in a war, and it's up to us to defend.
Yep. For now, we're taking control of a princess whose entire family line is destined to be the saviors of these lands.
Poor burb.
Swan suit Samus.
Avenge me, please.
I shall feed thee bread.
What?
Until we actually saw them in person in Metroid Dread, I was pretty much convinced that the Chozo were just oversized swans.
Really? With their curved beaks?
Yeah, just like this.
I mean, the Chozo are very clearly bird-inspired, so...
This woman needs to get that banana out of her face.
I was about to say.
That's called a bang.
It's a very firm bang. I don't know. Regardless, she is about to show that she doesn't need a swan in order to fly.
It's called a she-bang.
For she is a practitioner of the air twister.
Oh, never mind. I guess there is still a swan.
I was going to say she was a jolly good fellow.
Well, I mean, yeah, no. Even though she technically can't fly on her own, she's definitely going to need the help of some of the other flying denizens of the air to, help see her plan through. And just, yeah. Again, this game is just wacky. Very freaking wacky.
It gives me indie art house film, but first let's get a jam going and learn about how we play this Space Harrier revamp.
Yep. So again, remember that this was originally an Apple Arcade exclusive, and who's to say that most people that actually play on that actually do use game controllers to play the game? So imagine having to swipe your finger all across the screen just to move Arceus around.
Yep. And as you're going to be no doubt hearing for a good portion of this game, this is actually one of the big original tracks of a singer Valencia. I probably need to pull up his Wikipedia page. Most you need to know at this exact moment is he was heavily inspired by the stylings of Bohemian Rhapsody and a lot of Queen, best hit signals. And honestly, it was one of those fun little scenarios where the people who made this game just loved his work, sent him a Facebook message asking, hey, do you mind if I include your songs in this game? And they're like, let's do it. And not only did we get like a couple new songs, but they pretty much revisited a lot of their like, you know, biggest hits on their discography, like Gaia and Phantom of the Opera, to basically re-edit and revamp all the just make sure they had the most high quality recordings to work with.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that little establishing shot of what to expect from Air Twister, because now I'm going to be quitting now and heading onto my actual save file.
Nani?
Oh, I getcha.
Trust me, it all makes sense, because because this is an arcade game, essentially, or it's built like an arcade game. It expects you to play through the game multiple times, and through those multiple times, you'll earn a whole bunch of, wrong.
No worries, I getcha.
Wrong tab. I meant to load my save file. There we go. Because, again, it's like an arcade game. You always start from the very beginning, but every time you do a run, you earn points to earn some neat little swag, whether it be additional cosmetics or more powerful weapons, as we're about to showcase.
Okay, so it gives you perks, and instead of 3 hearts, now you got 8 hearts to work with.
Save the planet.
And a bunch of small yellow hearts?
Yep, those yellow hearts are pretty much Arx's health. And those bigger pink hearts up top are essentially our lives.
Okay. But now that we're doing this all, James, what was your initial response, giving this game a shot, kind of blind? I mean, did you know much about this game before you gave it a whirl on sale?
I only knew very little about the game going into it. All I knew for certain was that this was originally an Apple Arcade exclusive game, and it was being made by and again, Yu Suzuki of old school Sega fame, and Shenmue 3 infamy.
Right.
But his team came back to make this whole, love letter to the classics, and I mean, I don't know how well it really fared on the Apple Arcade, but now that it's no longer, exclusive to it, and I got to play it on a console, I mean, I enjoyed my time with it, especially for its soundtrack.
Yeah,
Is it free to play?
No, it's technically no, it's not. If you were to play this game on the Apple Arcade, you'd still have to pay for the subscription. But getting the game on anything else, it will cost you a pretty penny, and by pretty penny, I mean $25.
Right. It's the replayability.
That's a lot of pennies.
But now that we've made it through the first stage, the boss.
That was the first stage.
The bosses are huge. Too huge for Ark to take out herself, so normally this is where the point where she'll, hitch a ride on one of her many animal friends. And hopefully they'll give her the strength to defeat the enemy before her.
Sounds good.
How many animal friends are there?
Around 4, I want to say. There's a swan, as we're riding on right now. Later on, I think we ride on a fish, an iguana, and something else that I can't... and an elephant.
Do all 4 of them fly?
It's nature healing, nature fighting back. But yeah, now that you were
fighting back against the dirty needles.
But I guess now that we are approaching this point now, from kind of listening to this, as James discovered this soundtrack for the first time, and had to be in one of those odd moments, it's James, I don't think I don't think you like this soundtrack. I think you just found a new artist in real life to follow their works, because his style is a lot of this, and it's really nice, epic ballad kind of sound to it.
It's what is this magical noise?
It's just, you listen to it, it's wow, Queens really is dead.
Freddie Mercury? You're back?
I will say, that was another funny story, is assuming it's the same guy, the lead singer, or one of the main people working on all this music with him, Mickey, the two of them, according to history, the two of them met in an airport because they both were listening to Bohemian Rhapsody at the same time. And that just got the ball...
Sounds like the opening to a friggin', I don't know, a biopic?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like a cheesy thing, but it is really what happened. They just that just got the ball rolling, and here we are.
The way you describe it, keep in mind, this is purely a, humorous scenario. I don't imagine it actually happening. But the way you describe that, Logan, it just makes me think that, at the airport, one of them is just, singing along with the song, at the airport. And right next to him's the other guy. And there's a bit where they both start singing the lyrics at the exact same time. Then they turn to each other. And then you just hear in the background...
No, it gets to the point where they both shout, "Mama!" in unison.
That's better than I thought you were going to go, Hype. I thought you were going to go with them being all I can't find a way to put the right words to it, but basically, in so few words, basically being We both got buckets of chicken. Want to do it? Okay.
Well, I mean, the song I was humming might as well be it.
Want to start bashing a paint can with our chicken legs?
I have
But-
to compose with you.
You're a white
The
caveman.
reason
You
why
don't know.
caveman banged on rocks with sticks. So James, so apart from the soundtrack, how do you feel about like how the game controls and looks?
I mean, it controls about as well as a typical rail shooter does. Like, you move around, like Panzer Dragoon, you can actually lock onto multiple enemies at once and then fire at all of them at once. Though the way they do it is a little more simple by nature in that you just have to highlight you literally have to hover arc right around the enemy, and it should automatically lock on.
That is
Okay.
not an iguana. That is
That is a gargoyle.
yeah, I was about to say it looks like a goblin.
I'm just this thing looks fantasy.
Whatever it is, it's a reptile.
Fair, like a frilled lizard. But all right. Well, now that we're going through this, who here has played Space Harrier?
Not
I
me.
played it.
I played Kid Icarus, if that counts.
It can.
Close
Yeah,
enough.
Uprising was pretty close to. Have you Hyper Mecha?
I think they're just enjoying the music.
I'm going to take the long silence as a no.
Hype is muted, and I don't know if Mecha has or not, or if Mecha's playing the silent type. Anywho's,
Well, in a game like this,
it's a good bop.
I'm literally doing all the work here.
Also,
Fair.
I would like to mention that some of the enemies that we were shooting down during the stage itself were literally just the fucking No Man's Sky logo.
Yeah, no, with the diamond and stuff. It's okay. It's a good metaphor then. Hey, welcome back, Hype.
Believe you me, Iki.
What the
it's
hell?
not- It's not going to stop there.
Do we just stumble into Pandora's Labyrinth?
No, we're now in the realm of the No Man's Sky logo.
The No Man's Sky logo.
The No
You ever
Man's
wonder what it's like inside the logo?
Those are just the Orem troops.
Yeah, it's fine. So, I was gonna say, Hype, have you ever played Space Harrier, like, on the old arcade or on the old Sega consoles?
Nope.
Aw. Well, I mean, basically, Space Harrier, when it came out, Space Harrier kind of just controlled like a rail shooter where you could just move the cursor. Honestly, yeah, no, it was basically just a
Your
rail
character
shooter.
was the cursor.
Right, where the person was the cursor, but it played with a lot of 3D elements, almost like 3D World Runner, but you're in the air.
Yep.
And they had
and
really
I
cool
mean,
space dragons.
Yeah, no, especially the dragons. But I mean, it is honestly funny how this game, goes so far with it calling back to those old days. It's literally like going back to all the bullets that they're shooting right at us. They're just multicolored versions of those really hard to reach shots.
Yep, of the little pills.
Pills here.
Kills. Oh no, careful. Whoa.
So yeah, now as you've no doubt already noticed, I've played this game long enough to a point where I've already leveled up Arc to such a point where she can take a lot more hits, and she also has a few other perks as well. Like you'll notice on the left portion of the screen, there's this clock meter, which if you press the right trigger, I want to say, it's one of the triggers, but basically you can slow down time for a brief bit, and it will refill after a while. So I think there's only a limited amount of times you can do that per quote-unquote life.
Right.
Am I mistaken, or are those two trees on the sides of the screens just 2D images?
Potentially.
I think those are models. Like, I'll say for what it's worth, like, however budget this may look, they definitely they make the most out of its budget.
Whoa.
Are we fighting this thing on foot now?
Yeah, you'd think that, but no, they actually, that's just for an action shot. We're actually going to ride on our lovely little Breezy again.
She seems none too scared of this entity.
So, do these things have names other than just Needle Monster?
They do. Actually, that's one of the many things you can unlock in the game's adventure map set thing. Which, I mean, I can show off after we're done with this run, but basically this game has a whole, adventure mode. Think of it not unlike if you were... think of a game off the top of your head where, you have, a whole board game, which is comprised of a whole bunch of islands and a whole bunch of spaces, which you could fill with a certain amount of a certain, item or currency.
Off the top of my head, it kind of gives me, sort of vibes of, Kirby's Air Ride / Brawl with, the little, achievement grid wall that you can, complete tasks to reveal and, get new goodies from it. Or it reminds me of it
that.
Or that skill tree thing from Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection.
It's, it's a little more like that, where all these stars that we've been collecting by clearing formations, those are what you spend on filling up spaces in the adventure map. And filling up spaces gets you, again, it gets you a whole bunch of stuff like extra health, like yellow hearts, or different weapons, cosmetics, and a whole bunch of lore.
How do we equip new weapons when we're out and about?
When we're out and about, really can't do that. Basically, when you start a run of the game, you're stuck with whatever you picked. In my case, I actually picked a homing missile add-on, which, in retrospect, I kind of feel like I shouldn't have done that, because another weapon that you can get in this game literally lets you launch out a screen nuke, which honestly is a much more preferred weapon.
Well, yeah, because it gets a quicker... and I assume those stars we've been collecting, that's the currency we're going to use later?
Yep, that's the currency. And again, you always get them whenever you clear an enemy formation.
Gotcha. Okay.
I swear, there's a handful of sound effects in here that sound like they were ripped straight out of one of the Sonic games.
Well, the sound one...
That one.
Like, that sound right there, that's from Klonoa. Or at least it's a generic sound effect that I've heard in Klonoa.
It's a very important
so it's stock.
software.
That would explain it.
Again, I could... Especially because it was originally made for Apple Arcade, I can see that this game... okay, I won't say this game was made on the cheap. This is running very smooth, like... But like, you know what I'm talking about, like, you could see how if the frame rate was like 10 frames a second, this would easily be one of those like crappy games made on Steam for like $2. But because the performance works as well as it does, I think it's a pretty solid play, it looks like.
I guess to put it in perspective, I feel like this is like a marginal step up from the Panzer Dragoon remake we covered a little while back. Or the House of the Dead remake we also covered a while back, which, you know, like... Not to say that there wasn't any effort put into them, but they definitely felt very budget, and this game's really no exception to that. But I think, you know, better performance can definitely go a long way to make something like this very, you know, it feels magical.
Am I mistaken, or is the main protagonist, what was her name, Air?
Ark.
Isn't she very tiny?
She is very tiny. I mean, that's just, yeah, she really is very tiny, but then again...
She's a sci-fi fairy.
Kind of. Well, honestly, yeah. Go ahead. Just maybe she's a pixie, and they pack heat in this universe.
I really could not begin to tell you what the hell Ark is supposed to be, aside from just being a princess.
Ah, fair enough. Whoa.
She could be a Lilliputian.
Yeah, one of those two.
So. You know, like I could totally see her rocking a pair of wings. Which, I mean, it's funny you bring that up because, like, there's like a whole bunch of cosmetics you can apply to her, like whether it be hairstyles, hair colors, or the outfit she's rocking, or heck, even like face markings.
Cool. How many stages are there in this game? I think we're on stage 6 now.
12, I want to say.
Okay, so we're about halfway through, roughly.
No, not quite. We won't. You'll know when we're halfway through the game. They actually do play a little cutscene to showcase when things are really going to start heating up.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we're flying through a Nirvana trial if it had a budget.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, speaking of which, the next boss we're about to encounter may as well be a freaking, like, boss of the Somnium.
Let's see.
A genie of the lamp?
Really?
Inside the magic lamp is a giant clock.
What the hell?
It is Wonderland.
But don't worry, there's something else inside that lamp that'll actually be of help to us.
What could it be?
Spirit.
For inside is a flying majestic elephant.
It's a pachyderm.
Hack'em-derms. Pack of hors d'oeuvres.
Let's pack 'em, derm.
This game truly is magic.
Pack of hors d'oeuvres.
I can't keep up with that, but yeah. So, I mean, this is getting a little... This is a little silly, but I mean, but it captures that same vibe of, like, remember how, like, ridiculous the old, like, arcade titles would be? Like, remember frickin' Honey Melon?
This is starting to feel like a treasure game in some regard.
Actually, what is Honey Melon?
Or not Honey Melon. Was it no Melon Bread? My bad, Melon.
Melon Bread. Thank you.
From Gunstar Heroes?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Mangosteen?
Mangosteen.
No,
my
Melon
bad. I keep thinking Melon Bread. No, but yeah, sorry, Mangosteen. That weird thing.
No. Yeah, no, I'm joking. It is Melon Bread. Mangosteen is the Cuphead parody.
Oh, doy.
At least it isn't Curry Face.
Fair.
That guy's an asshole.
While we're doing this, do you happen to have a favorite of these stages or a favorite one of these songs that you've heard?
I guess as far as one of my favorite music in the soundtrack, Princess Mystique is one of my favorites, which was the theme of the last boss we fought.
That did sound good from what I heard.
There was that one, and there was also like the menu theme, Phantom of the Opera. That one's fantastic. Even if that one's not even the full loop.
This whole thing started, by the way. This whole thing started with James sharing, like, in the classic meme format of, okay, you're just making a kind of a nice budget arcade shooter for the Apple Arcade. You don't gotta go too hard, and then and it just goes nuts.
Then bring out the Flamin' Organ.
Oh yeah, no, out of nowhere. And then that's when I looked into it, going like, why did he go so hard? It's like, oh, that's when we learned that, okay, they repurposed the soundtrack, but still, it's a good bop. It reminds me a lot of anyone here ever play Lap? Anyone here ever now this feels like a freaking Tetris Effect background now.
Doesn't it?
What is the in-universe context for all these environments?
Again, bubbles of dreams and mystical worlds.
Are they
whatever.
dreams?
So the game calls them airs, like AIR. I don't know what the whole meaning behind it is, but basically they're like these like miniature worlds comprised of one bigger one that they call the Queen Bubble. But then the Needles came and then popped her bubble, and now the whole thing's been thrown into chaos.
Fair enough.
And that's why we're here.
So are these just like floating remnants of what used to be within that bubble?
Something like that.
Just like scattered all about. Also, disco balls? Or wait, they're jellyfish.
Listen, we'd be here forever if we brought up every single bit of lore that this game has, because there's a surprising amount of it.
There was a lot of care, I guess, actually put into the writing. I mean, yeah, it's the Shenmue guy. He probably had a lot of, a lot of.
It's like the old days where you get the most out of a game's story through a shit ton of supplementary material.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, I would love to understand like the plot relevance or like the context of what the hell just happened in the previous stage.
With the clocks, yeah, I don't know what we're doing. I
the
guess we're just
genie
trying
lamp.
to. I guess we're just trying to like. My guess is
We're trying to whittle down the Needles' numbers, basically.
Right. We're trying to find their home base and destroy any who try to oppose us.
Actually, I think that would be a good time to show up slow up. There we go. It was the right bumper.
Oh, okay, and that's the little meter in the lower left there. Okay, what are those little tokens and jewels in the lower right?
There are other enhancements that you can apply to Arc that can range from protecting you from bigger hazards, or just shielding you from regular attacks in general.
Crab? Oh man!
Antare.
It's Phantom Manta's revenge.
And now it's time for Princess Mystique and her flying fish friend to save the day.
Whoa!
I am a fish friend, and I fly.
I just realized this fish has fucking chicken legs.
Yep. Looks ridiculous. But in terms of the use of Valencia and his licensed music, for some reason it doesn't like bother me all that much. It reminds me a bit of. Did anyone here ever play that old like free to play mobile game like Robot Unicorn or like it was like Robot Unicorn Dash or something?
Yeah, Adult Swim game.
Yeah, the Always I Wanna Be With You.
I haven't played it, but I know it.
It was I learned about it through that, and then I also remember this like heavy metal version where it played Battlefield by I think Kingdom was the name of the heavy metal or the power ballad heavy metal whatever band. Whoa. It just I don't know, it fit and it just gave the game its own cool little style. I thought.
I mean, I'll believe it.
So how difficult would you say this game is in general?
It's not going to hold your hand if that means anything. It's going to take multiple playthroughs before you're at a comfortable level to take these things out without losing a life.
Okay, so they do kind of do that, or so how about this? If I were to pick this up right now, do you think it would be feasible for me with just the 3 hearts? Would it be feasible for me to actually complete a full run and reach the final boss, or is this one of those things where you almost like a roguelike, you gotta have to invest some things to build yourself up to reaching the final credits?
Unless
it's funny you did bring that up, Logan, because while it is recommended that you buff yourself up before you fully beat the game, there is an arcade mode you can unlock, which essentially just has you go through the entire game with just your base stats.
Oh.
Also, oh my god, are we in a Linkin Park music video now?
No, the Needles have swarmed.
Yeah, they're getting a little too big for their britches.
And even with our 4 animal friends combined...
all of them with wings.
Things are just gonna get tougher.
So they're originating from the big ugly dead tree?
Something like that, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Also, should be said, this is actually a revised cutscene because there was actually an original. This actually replaced the cutscene that was going to be far longer and have supply a little more context to the overall plot.
Oh,
Fuck.
darn.
But hey, good news! They actually did keep it in the game, and it's something you can unlock over time in the adventure map.
Oh, that's
I
handy.
didn't realize you were playing Gradius.
Which you know what? I will show that off once we're done with this run.
Okay. I will say, like, the takeaway I want from this is that I don't want Apple Arcade to be this like graveyard for some of these projects. I want them to come onto other platforms, Sonic Dream Team, to come later.
Exactly. I mean, listen, Spider Swords and Shantae got to be on other things. Freaking this got to be on other things. Why not Sonic Dream Team?
I'm gonna look and see if there's any other games like this.
I think it's pretty much honestly, I feel like it's pretty much. They won't say it right now, but I think it's pretty much guaranteed that it will be on other consoles eventually. Because I think Sega, I want to give them credit and think that they'd be smart enough to let as many people get access to this game as they can eventually.
I guess it should be said real quick, ladies and gentlemen, again, we're recording this before the game's even out. We don't know if it's really going to be a game that deserves to get a console port, or if they they hammer in all the free-to-play bullshit, very, up front.
If they do, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah, again, we're just working off of the initial trailer and intro cutscene that have been launched.
As well as a few hands-on impressions.
And it's this all looks like it could very well be a mainline Sonic game.
And then you see the logo is coming to Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
And then
What
I
is
say,
this?
damn it, the closest thing we get to Sonic Adventure in the modern day, and it's locked to fucking iPhones.
It's just as much a cringe as fighting a giant enemy crab.
Oh, so I did decide to look up some games that used to be exclusive to Apple Arcade, but were now ported onto consoles. One of them is called Grindstone.
Grindstone?
It's almost like a Connect 3, but you're a barbarian, connecting enemies together to slash into combos. It's
That
all
sounds
2D
familiar.
animated and stuff.
Okay.
Kind of
Didn't they show that off in a direct at some point?
I believe so. It gives me very big Pendleton Ward vibes in its art style.
Okay.
Did Pendleton
Careful.
work on it? Did he work on it?
Now she is pincerless. But that's not going to stop her from unleashing her babies.
That thing's
Careful,
a sheep.
careful. Now it's Space Invaders.
It's a mother. It's got. Look at all the little things that'll grow up to be just as monstrous as her.
I watched a video today on how some crabs tend to decorate themselves with anemones, and they use them as pom-poms or punching.
Oh yeah, I guess it should be
Whoa.
said. Whenever you see those little arrows there, that's usually to show that there's going to be a very heavy-duty attack coming your way. And if you're caught in the crossfire, you get sent flying.
Fair
Or
enough.
sometimes they use them as a pair of hands.
Hey, Bullies Reborn.
Let's see. Another Apple Arcade game that was ported was something called Alba Animal Adventure or something. You're a kid with a
Jessica Alba?
baseball cap. ALB. No, not Jessica Alba. Although I would love if it ended up being that was her origin story and it was her at a young age.
What the hell is a Jessica Alba, for that matter?
Anyway, Aquarium.
Oh, I remember this level giving me some heck, or the boss of it anyway.
Careful. I was gonna say, because so far this does remind me of Gunstar Heroes, where it's or not Gunstar Heroes, freaking Alien Warrior, where it's the general enemies themselves are not the problem, it's the bosses at the end of each stage to be mindful of.
Oh, you mean Alien Soldier?
Alien Soldier, that was it.
That honestly is a game I wouldn't mind trying to a whole playthrough of, because honestly, out of all of the games that Treasure made for the Genesis, that's probably one of my favorites.
It does still
What
have,
about
from what I saw,
Gradius?
it does still have from what I remember reading, one of my favorite stupid boss names.
Which one? Oh, which one?
Let me actually pull it up. I want to make sure I read it correctly. It's the
There seem to be a lot of mushroom
it's in stage 4. It's the weird long nose elephant looking slug thing, and his name
I know what you're talking about.
is Sniper Honey Viper.
Honey Viper. Hey, it rhymes.
I don't think at any point they ever tell you any of their names unless you read the manual or something in the dev notes. But But yeah, basically, Alien Soldier Icky is this. Think of it almost like a 2D beat 'em up mixed with a shoot 'em up, where you're like a Birdman running, and you can jump and like stick to the ceiling and stuff, and you're fighting just a butt ton of bosses, like I think almost 30 or so in a single run.
So it's mainly a boss fighting game.
Oh, hold up real quick, Logan. Remember Squid from Sonic Frontiers? Imagine if it was actually a threat.
Oh, like that guy right there?
All right, Flying Fish,
No,
let's
that's
go.
our friend.
Oh,
That's
it's a
Flying Fish, friend.
There's the Squiddo.
It's Busker the Flying Fish. Say something funny.
He can't say something funny. He's a squid.
No, the fish.
They don't got mouths, they got beaks. My Flying Fish is voiced by Bill Burr. Ain't that funny?
I only know the name Bill Burr. I've never really.
Watch out for the inkjets. Those are that can literally send you flying.
Jeez. Which, oh, I guess I should. Actually, no. Versus. Are there ever any insta-kill moves that can like actually just full on like knock you out, or is
Destroy
it
you?
just health that you have to worry about?
It's primarily health.
Well, fair enough.
Well, she just went.
But still good to go. No lives.
Is that the first time he died?
Not really, no. No, don't worry. I won't die until I lose all of my hearts.
Jesus Christ, there are so many tentacles.
I mean, it's a squid. They got like at least 9 of them.
And they're blocking the way of this little inkjet there, which can really cause a fucking problem if you're not paying close attention.
So you gotta shoot down the tentacles before you can get to the main course.
Yeah.
I will say, having mentioned Bill Burr, Icky, you should probably give Leo a shot. It's actually a pretty okay movie.
Is that the one Van Sandler is the lizard?
Yes.
Yes.
But what none of the commercials ever told me is that it's actually a musical, and it actually has some pretty heartfelt songs in it.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I'd say it's surprisingly B+ quality music.
Better than Wish?
Yeah, I'll say this. It feels more. I will say Leo's music sounds like it belongs in a stage musical more than Wish's does.
That's embarrassing.
Yep, sure is. Especially when Leo also has a nice, multicultural cast that you can actually remember. Has a nice style that doesn't look like every other Disney movie that came out.
Multiple characters that actually mean something to the narrative.
And here's the kicker: for the credits, they even have 2D animation.
Ha!
Just Disney. I don't.
Disney, why?
Why do you do this to us?
If you're ever desperate after the company potentially goes sour, Disney, I hear Air Twister could use a nice film adaptation.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to a animated adaptation of this game.
But don't just reduce the title to a one word.
Actually, no.
If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me, toots.
No, they'll just reduce it to air.
Actually, you know what, James? That actually would be pretty cool. I don't know if I could do a feature-length movie, but if they ever did like an Interstellar 5555 with this, but instead of Daft Punk with Valencia, I'd watch it.
Oh, damn, I'd be down.
Like, if it just covers the entire arc or saga or whatever that's going on.
So,
Oh,
might I
bonus
ask,
stage.
are there any penalties if you end up losing all of your lives?
You will lose. As far as I'm aware, you can still continue up to like maybe 2 times, but you will lose your score and you will lose the amount of. Well, they said technically it makes it seem like you lost all the stars you accumulated, but you really didn't.
Are they banked or whatever?
They're essentially banked, yes. Like the stars, you don't have to worry about. It's more so your score. That's about it.
See, these bonus stages are reminding me a lot of Super Monkey Ball.
It does feel an awful lot like that. Super Monkey Ball, I also get, like Logan said earlier, fucking Tetris Effect vibes.
Well, no, it's a lot more minimalist.
Well, to be fair, Tetris Effect wasn't that, like... I don't know, how can I put it delicately? It's like... This is still pretty, like... This is still pretty full of life and vibrant, but it's also like...
What lies beneath the surface?
You know what, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Like, I don't know, I still feel like this wouldn't be out of place in Tetris Effect. Maybe it could have used a little more pizzazz, but still. Anyway, I do believe that's the last bonus level we'll be going through.
Aw,
Really?
well, we're off to the floating city. So, are we actually trying to get back to the kingdom where the Queen Bubble or whatever used to be, or are we just actually trying to find their home base?
we're essentially trying to find their home base, or at the very least, or at the very least, the root of the problem.
All right.
Is the final boss going to be the dirty bubble?
The dirty bubble.
Actually, no, not actually. No, it's not the dirty bubble. It's actually something a little more pointy.
Well, we managed to make it back to the city that got, was laid siege upon at the beginning of the game.
The hypodermic needle?
Yeah, and the needles have recently made it their home.
Oh dear.
I'm sorry, that was terrible of me.
What?
Hypodermic needle.
Oh, I saw what you did there.
Because I don't like needles. Be pointy and make
I'll admit, I'll throw this out there, fine. I'll throw it out there as like my kind of maybe sort of critique depending on how you look at it. Since a lot of Valencia's songs tend to sound similar to me, has every stage had a unique song, or do they sometimes reuse tracks?
They do reuse tracks fairly often.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, this...
Which is probably my only real critique with this game soundtrack, but otherwise, it's still pretty, high-quality music.
Oh, for sure. Like, again, the guy is very good at producing this stuff. The best I could say is that, like, if you love Bohemian Rhapsody and the sound of it, then...
If you truly dearly need more Freddie Mercury in your life and are not willing to resort to AI garbage, then
Right.
go for this.
But it's one of those things where it's like...
Man, wouldn't that be such a sad day when we learn that Valencia actually, partakes in that crap?
I don't think he does. He uses Facebook Messenger. I don't even know if he knows what AI is. But...
Yeah, only only
Where is
X.com tech bros know about AI.
So, I'll say for what it's worth, this thing right here looks like final boss material.
But it isn't.
It's not.
What the hell even is it?
It's a thing.
It's like a suit of armor thing.
Yeah, kinda. I see bony arms.
And it's got pointy fingers.
And a skull!
The Dark Burner.
Like, that definitely looks like he would be the leader of the Needles, but, no.
Or like
he's
some-
just
at
another...
least- Maybe like an enforcer?
I mean, he's probably an enforcer. I mean, look what he's spawning through those portals.
He's huge!
He's massive, and take this into perspective. Look at the size of me compared to the animal I'm riding.
Look at the size of you compared to everything else.
Yeah? The Needles are fucking massive.
Or maybe Ark is just very tiny, as we stated before.
Humanity as a whole in this universe is very tiny.
Are they humans?
I guess. I mean, they're human-like. They never outright say if they're elves or fairies or humans or anything like that. They're just people.
Maybe there's some kind of faithful.
Maybe. Oh shit! No! Ouch. That stung.
So you say these worlds are bubbles, right? Like physical, like spherical things.
like in a vacuum universe of space kind of deal.
So what happens if one of them pops?
It's like, I call them bubbles because it's the closest thing I can immediately think of. Again, like the game calls them airs, like A-I-R. They're all being watched over. They were watched over by a queen bubble.
You mean she puts on airs?
Something
Yes.
like that, yeah. I mean, how do you think we're able to fly?
Icky, have you ever heard of the dream radio from the hit movie We're Back, a Dinosaur Story?
I have.
It functions like that.
Have you ever heard of a
It really
Johnny
is like that.
Quinn?
It really is.
Yes. I forget which studio even made that movie.
I think it was Warner Bros.
No, it was. I don't know if it was. I think Universal published it.
Was it Amblin?
It might have been Amblin. I think Steven Spielberg was involved in it, but I could be wrong on that. Oh, now we're tripping some serious balls. Look at all these mushrooms.
I mean, I dig this. Like, I remembered in high school being super into this, like, space fantasy kind of, like, aesthetic. It's space opera kind of stuff.
You want to know, actually, now that I look back on this level, you want to know something that's kind of a cruel irony?
What?
I think on one of my earliest runs ever, this is like as far as I got. And this is literally the second last level in the game.
Oh,
Dang.
I never would have thought, and it didn't, like, I wouldn't have thought then that this would actually, I was so close to the end.
And
But
would
here
have
we
actually
are.
continued to play and win the game, too.
Yeah. Also, by the way, do be careful because some of the background elements are obstacles for Ark, so you gotta, move out the way.
Now, aside from Ark, are there any other characters of her kind that we know of?
The closest thing we get to that is literally at the end, where she apparently where she actually does raise a family.
Aww.
She raises a family?
You'll see.
Close to say darn. Like, part of me, maybe if in the console port, I could have found it fun if there was like some sort of like co-op mode.
That would have been interesting.
Maybe launch the kids like rockets at the enemies.
No.
No. It's that no.
To be fair, though, in the context of that scene, I think it takes place years after this game's all done. So, for all we know, she's probably not married. She's probably not married and has kids yet.
It's
What
actually
is that thing?
It's actually an incredible. The co-op would actually be an incredible genre-defining experience, Icky, where one player, James, controls the shooting, and I play Rock Band to perform the Valencia song live.
This is the most high-tech thing I've seen in the game thus far.
And it's probably my least favorite boss in the whole game.
And you only got
What
2
is
hearts to
this
do
thing?
it. Go,
No pressure.
go, my little gremlin friend.
Go, my fanciful iguana friend. Or are you
fanciful
chameleon? I
fool.
can never tell.
I like how we're flying forward, yet the background's staying static.
Yeah.
In fact, we kind of just backed up a bit. It's kind of like the turtle badniks in Sonic 2, where like you're flying forward, yet they're slowly moving forward, but not enough so that they're actually flying backwards.
Oh, jeez.
Oh shit!
I need to turn on slow-mo. This is getting nuts.
Yeah. Oof. Ow!
Forgot about that.
Well, here's our last chance.
Last chance to make a difference. Okay, there we go. I made it in the freaking on the edge of my skin.
Is it possible to regain health in these stages?
Yeah, through these bonuses. And it also depends on our rank, I think.
Rank A. Oh, well, that didn't do much.
Yeah, well, I mean, I still got a little bit. Hopefully that'll help because final level time.
Polygon. Oh, so this is Pandora's Labyrinth.
Yep, this is Pandora's Wonderland.
I see she's been playing Cash Banuka.
Oh, but this is only the beginning. We're just in the inside of this geometrical landscape.
Let's see, we have the Tiki Lodge. Now we got the Freaky Lodge. Or the Leaky
Got
Lodge.
fish.
No, it's leaking. See, there's water everywhere.
Aw, and it's all polygonal.
Hold the fuck up. This little clip size from Spyro 3!
There we are.
What?
What do you mean what? This is literally what it's like on the outside.
How did we get inside to begin with?
Good question.
So this is their home base, huh?
Essentially, like this is literally where it all. This is where this will all end.
They just wanted to video game, but these stupid round things were in the way, so they had to pop them.
They just got jealous that they never got to have a starring role in Katamari Damacy.
So can we get hit by those things?
Yes, we can.
Oh boy. And speaking of,
Game over.
continue.
But don't worry, we still have 2 more chances. Honestly, better now than like literally right before we got to this point without any continues. Anyway, Mecha, Hype, what have you been thinking of this trippy journey so far?
It's very trippy, very much journey. Music sounds
And I'm
really
back.
good so far. Oh,
back,
there you
Logan.
are.
And I can finally talk at full volume again because that
Logan.
errand has been accomplished. What's up?
Hooray.
Everything's polygonal. I'm scared.
Yep, it's called the 3D
Polygon.
era.
It's called the Polygon.
It's called a very elaborate art project.
I like it.
It's called Keita Takahashi.
It's like you were like everything looks so realistic yet fanciful, and then we suddenly come to here where we got the bear.
Bear! Don't touch the bear. the King of Cosmos will be very cross with you.
God, I forgot how fucking vicious these things are by this point.
No. You could touch it. You could touch a bear. You just want to make sure that's a big bear, because the bigger the bear, the happier the king will be.
Also,
He'll be satisfied regardless of whatever kind of bear you get.
Also-
What about the? But think about the cows.
Yeah, the cows are considered too.
Also, okay, so I did find one other game that was Apple Arcade exclusive before it came to console. I think it was by the guys who did Danganronpa. I don't know, it was called World's End Club.
Oh, I remember
That
that.
sounds
one.
familiar.
It was about like this group of high schoolers that like it was after the apocalypse. It was either the
Yeah, I did hear
They get
about
trapped
that.
in some kind of aquarium, and it looks like it looks like a cross between the Danganronpa art style and Pokemon.
Oh, you know what it is? If it wasn't Pokemon, it may have been the Yokai Watch people.
Maybe. Anyway, we're here. This is the final stretch.
Is there a low poly costume for Arc here?
Unfortunately, there isn't. That
Oh,
actually would
missed
have been pretty cool if
opportunity.
there was. Yeah.
Also,
It would have been
supposedly-
really funny.
But,
Whoa.
Also, what?
see that little diamond right there?
Yeah.
That right there is our head honcho.
Oh, so it's Ramiel
Sure, we'll go with that.
from. God, give us the second kid.
Well, no.
The spooky screaming diamond thing that shoots laser beams.
What if the red diamond from Bomberman 64 grew a conscience?
Oh no, it's No Man's Sky.
Yes, the big one.
We're fighting the logo!
Apparently, they're claiming that the Samurai Jack game was Apple Arcade exclusive, which I don't know about that.
Battle Through Time?
I think
pretty
so.
sure that got put on consoles first.
Yeah.
This gameplay clips YouTube is not to be trusted. Moving forward,
Do not trust
Wow.
YouTube ever.
So here's the deal regarding this final fight. Basically, all its glowy, you want to shoot all its glowy bits when it's keeping its core guarded. But but then it pulls a whole bunch of paper puppet stuff there.
Oh, it really is Remiel.
Cootie Catcher, I think, was the shape of this, or
No, Fortune Teller, I think.
Fortune Teller, was that it?
But basically, it'll once you take out a phase, it'll undergo a different shape. But it's lather repeat. Take out all the shiny bits, and then expose the core again.
Okay,
It's exactly like the angel from the Genesis.
a little bit, yeah, a little bit.
All that's missing is the
There
horrific
it is.
female screaming.
Well, it screams whenever that laser opens up.
What, this boss? No, in the show it screams whenever it's like changing shape and shooting lasers.
Oh, wait, here we
I
go.
remember.
Now it's honestly, I can't tell what this
It's
is.
a
Dreidel,
holy
Dreidel,
four-dimensional
Dreidel,
cross.
we made you out of... No, it's not that shape. It's a little bit too angular for that.
And it's a Cash Banuka relic?
Hype, what have you been thinking about all this mess about?
Well, like I was saying earlier, it's definitely abstract. The gameplay looks perfectly fine, for the genre it's supposed to be, even though I can't say I'm too versed in it, and I'm liking the music so far.
Thinking about it, I gotta wonder if the stage design, like the overall layout and whatever, was a
And
early
it's
design.
down.
I get the feeling that this is like an early, test level that they just kept in for the final stage.
I can see
It's symbolic. Wait, what's going on?
The blocks froze.
Literally, all the needles are All the needles are now heading straight for us.
Are you
Dodge.
sure those are enemy
Or you don't
units?
know. They're
Oh, wait.
You don't know. They're literally. You know what? Maybe they were under this thing's control the whole time.
No, it's just sucking them all up.
We have to fly. Fly, you fool!
Watch out! It's gonna blow.
I just realized that Swan was flying, technically flying towards the cube.
But there we go. You've done it.
The threat of the needles are no more.
You have purified this realm.
Okay, so now what?
Now we blow ourselves another queen bubble and live the rest of our lives in peace.
She just goes down. She flies down. She breaks the glass. It says "break in case of queen a queen uprising." It's just a jar of bubble soap.
Who's that?
Jeez.
Oh, I thought that was a phone ringing.
No.
Hello? Hello? I really do feel like a bee right now.
Oh, buzz.
But
And so, We were successful in clearing out this world of all impurities, but at what cost?
Oh.
I mean, we got this cool-ass crossbow. Oh, we're getting rid of the crossbow. Oh, because our time as a warrior is over.
Yep,
Until next mission.
there's no more need for a warrior.
Stay. You'll become a great title screen for the next Final Fantasy game.
And then the crossbow just hops out of the ground and tries following her. It's like, no, you stay.
You stay. Me. You weapon.
I can just imagine, like, at some point, the thing just it nearly tips over, and then she just has to readjust it.
Put many rocks. Come back later, it has a bunch of poles. It says sign that says "Do not touch."
Touch.
Yeah.
You know, that tree's looking a little down.
Yeah, what about it?
Let's let a time lapse happen.
Yep, let's let a time lapse happen.
Oh, there are the rocks!
Look, all the breezy are flying away, and the game congratulates us on a job well done.
This was a planet?
Meanwhile, many years later...
Baby!
What the heck is this? This is an ugly tree.
It's a young Padawan.
Look, Daddy!
Yep.
Yes, sweetheart. Yes, sweetheart, it is a really weird-looking stick.
My
Wait,
crossbow.
that's just the little girl from Sonic Adventure 2.
My crossbow tree has finally bore fruit, and
That's her.
Yep, that's our.
That's our. She has a family now, and
Ah!
and there's now like in the place of where it used to be a wasteland. Now it's a grassy little meadow. All is right with these worlds.
Nature is healing.
A dream utopia is ours. Congratulations, you are a wiener.
You're a winner. You have your own family now. Don't you feel proud of yourself, player?
Do I?
Now go outside
And touch grass.
Damn it! It is yours to behold. Okay, but again, I will say the visuals have been pretty slick with this. I like it.
Yeah, they're slick. They make it work when it counts. Now, man, isn't life grand, honey?
Ain't life grand?
That Zeppelin is very distracting for the composition.
I don't know. I think it adds. I think it adds to the flair.
Well, no, like, if I'm looking at this image straight on, I'm thinking about the tree where that blimp is just it's intruding. I don't like it.
It's cool. It's how you get a cool fantasy wallpaper. Take a capture.
It looks like a smoked ham.
It does actually kind of look like a smoked ham. But roll the credits. We beat the game. You got a top. I see. Because you died near the very end, so I had to do a continue. But okay, but still pretty good. High score.
Thank you so much for playing the game.
You get even more.
And I get a whole bunch of extra stars for a job well done.
Means you get to buy more
500.
goodies. Have you bought all the goodies?
Not yet. Actually, this is. You know what? Since we're already done with the game, let's actually go ahead and showcase what else you could do. Aside from just playing the
There
game.
are daily tasks.
Yep. Again, this was originally an Apple Arcade exclusive. Makes sense.
But there you go. And here are your weekly tasks. But at the very
And
least,
then there's the time limited track. They call it time limited, but in reality, this shit's been here since the launch of the game. I don't think they're going to disappear anytime soon.
at the very least, I guess that right now, would you say does this have any microtransactions since it's no longer on Apple Arcade?
It does not, thankfully.
Ooh, tiger face. That's it.
Did it
Oh, that's
originally
it.
have?
That's literally all there was.
All right. Well, let's look at our loadout.
Our loadout that comprises of like many different things, whether it be stuff like torsos you can wear, like your default costume, ninja wear, sandpunk if you want to feel like you're in a Mad Max movie, the elegant garb I was wearing the whole time, cyber outfit if you want to feel a little more futuristic.
I forget. Are there fairy wings?
No fairy wings,
Yeah, not
unfortunately.
that I've
But you can be a witch.
That's honestly kind of hilarious for me.
And
Heavy metal.
Shit.
very tasteless metal attire.
Yay, heavy metal.
Yay!
And then there's also a bunch of facial decor you can wear too.
Okay, just mainly changing the face paint, but I assume this does carry over into cutscenes.
It does. All cutscenes are real time.
Oh god, even the one where she starts a family and her mom's a heavy walker.
Could you imagine she was dressed up as a freaking tiger?
Imagine she was actually
Hey, Jury.
she was a and she just wore this kind of nonsense.
You know, start up a traditional Japanese family in front of a fucking baked ham zeppelin.
You ever want to start a family? Well, don't forget your safety helmet.
Thank you.
Hairstyle. Wait. Can I read that?
What?
Hairstyle worn by cheerleaders in Flying Cucumber, a sport
Unique to air.
Huh?
The number of tails of hair you have is a mark of advancement. Arch holds the record for having reached the highest level, so she gets to have the most ponytails out of her helmet.
Does each individual strand of hair count as a tail?
I think? I don't know.
So
Metal
she has
set.
like a bit. She's like rank.
Oh, and then here are all our
billion.
weapons, like the lightning chaser.
Yeah, the lightning chaser is what I've been using during this recent run. Though I tend to prefer something a little more along the lines of Sparky here.
Has the...
Oh, no, it was. I think it was Starburst. It was Starburst.
It's just a
Basically,
cannon.
this is the screen nuke.
Get the blunderbussen.
So what would you say is the wackiest weapon?
Again, freaking. Let me actually put that off real quick. As I brought up again, the Starburster, because again, it's a freaking screen nuke. But you can have you have your default weapon. You have the lightning chaser, which we've been using, and then there's also a Sparky, which it destroys a whole. It's honestly, just read the description. It pretty much explains the whole thing.
I mean, the Starburst looks just like a traditional cannon, so I'd expect the ammunitions to, explode and hit several enemies at once.
And these are all the little accessories we've been wearing to help give us an edge. Like this one that shields us against non-boss attacks, this one that shields us against boss attacks, and this one that protects against iron balls.
Huh.
Tetra beans. What's a dimple?
But yeah, that's all the equipment. And now for the adventure map.
Alright, let's see what we got. So we did a good
It
amount
all
of
starts
this.
here, and it all starts here, and every space costs about a couple stars to fill up. And whenever you fill up one, you usually get a yellow heart and a little bit of lore.
Oh, so that tells us about what the space is, the Vanguard, the Windies, that's what they were, with 2 Ds. More loot, more... more upgrades to give us more attributes. How big is this map? Oh, wow.
Pretty big.
Okay, it is actually very big. Oh, wow.
They expect you to play through this game multiple times to reap in all the benefits.
So we're currently over there in Moai Town, heaven over there.
Yes, we are.
So let's see what
And
we can-
unfortunately, I do believe the further into the game you go, the more it costs to buy certain things, like a boss rush,
Okay.
or this other weapon
Witch.
called the Witch.
Projects a decoy that draws enemy fire.
So I'm guessing yellow hearts and pink heart upgrades are permanent?
Yes.
Yes.
And you need 20 yellow hearts to get another pink heart, which is basically those are your actual continues if you ever take damage.
Right. Like if you ever die in the middle of a fight.
Yeah.
And actually, there are certain spaces that are essentially just. It's the same weapon you already have, but basically you can buy it again to make it more powerful.
Okay, so it's just a solid like stat upgrade. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you do tap rally. What's tap rally?
Tap. It's essentially like It's something that makes more sense if you're playing this game on mobile. Basically, you tap all the squares in numerical order, and you win the game.
Ah. Okay.
Oh, so it's a mini game.
It sounds like it can be very difficult to do then properly on console, but there we go. You made it about halfway through this area.
Well, I mean, the Switch does have a touch screen, so...
That is
Does.
true.
And since we already, and this is pretty much, and here's where we would get all of our lore right here,
A lot of
like
them.
telling us about the adventure map and also what it's like in Air Twister space. And this is where we actually get our plot. At the exit of a white hole, extra-dimensional space is called air, froth out in bubbles. The Queen Bubble, a giant bubble that encapsulated and protected the many faceted air, was burst asunder with the flash emergence of the Needles. With their refuge lost, the Needles eroded, the air to the verge of extinction.
Dang.
Ark, a descendant of the royal family that once protected the air, puts her faith in legend knowing that she must raise the banner of resistance alone against the Needles. Legend says that when the Queen Bubble is lost, yet the royal family justly wields the air-mastering Air Twister powers. Together with the power to restore the 4 royal guardians, the Queen Bubble will be regenerated and life breathed into the air again.
Okay, sounds good to me.
I'm very much curious to see what that Like, let me see the enemies and bosses and whatever. I want to see what the fuck that clock thing was.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, there it is.
There we go. Here's the
Horologia? What?
Horologia. Like horoscope, like horologia. I don't know. The valiant flowers past the animal topiaries, the toy of time playfully proclaims, now it is time to choose life or death. Flowers or trees? Aren't flowers or trees kind of...
What?
Capoda, Scipio, Mora,
Extermia.
Apita, the nuclear fusion vessel that burns human souls.
What?
Ultra high dimensional spiritual structures created from the redimensionalization, that's a new word, of 8 angel spirit bodies, first flattened into 2 dimensions. There's a lot I gotta
So it
catch
really
up
is
on.
just
Like, what's going
Neon
on.
Genesis. Oh god.
Yeah, no, again, this game's lore is incredibly nutty.
I mean, it's by the Shenmue guy. You know, there's gonna be a butt ton of stuff put in, but I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff to like look
Actually,
into. Oh,
I almost forgot. Remember when we were going right at the midpoint where they were just a whole bunch of needles were heading in our way, and the game was telling us things are about to get harder.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is the original cutscene that was supposed to play there.
Why? If it, okay,
No, it's even harder.
okay, I gotta ask James. If they have the full version of the cutscene, and they did finish it, and they made a bonus, why can't they let you just unlock this to be able to just be seen when you play the game?
Because you can watch it right here.
Good question. I couldn't begin to tell you. Maybe they thought it just felt out of place. Even though, no, I think this is a little more. This feels a little more relevant than the scene we ended up getting.
Right, because right away it establishes that tree, which we see later is like the big utopia, and there's what the hey is this?
A magical gate.
The last beat 'em on ball.
Oh.
No, I think that's actually supposed to be air itself.
Yeah, an air bubble with a realm inside.
So does she go within that realm in her hands?
I don't believe she does, or maybe it's just to show that. So this is what happened. The needle saw the tree, then the tree was what was spawning all those air bubbles.
Oh, they were like... Oh, okay,
It's
so...
a tree of life, and it generates air because trees generate
oh
air.
my god, you're right!
It makes sense!
That does actually make sense. And, that is what we are hoping to save. And okay, this would have been nice to know when you're, you're in the thick of it.
Visual storytelling, maybe?
Yeah, like this, again, like, it's one of those things where I guess when you see it by itself, yeah, it doesn't make an awful lot of sense. But I guess it's also one of those things where they have the lore right then and there for you to read later on to give you a clue on what the hell this is supposed to be.
Yeah, but I don't want to read books and video games.
Honestly, it does make me wonder, like, how much they could, like, if they could actually fill out an entire book based on everything you can unlock in this world map.
Says the guy who played 2 Somnium Files games.
Yeah,
Right.
that be you. So, I mean, yeah. Otherwise, I think what they have is a pretty decent amount of like fun content here for replay. If you're a fan of that 3D shoot 'em up stuff, do you have any input on this mecha?
I think he's just vibing.
I think Mecha's literally just been silently watching this whole time, not realizing that this isn't a multiplayer set recording.
Fair.
I think he's just vibing, you guys.
But yeah, with that all said, that's it for our time with Air Twister. We hope you all, were able to stick around for the whole thing, or if you haven't, I'd still say, for what it's worth, I would recommend giving this a play. Though, I mean, I don't know if I'd outright say that $25 is a bit steep for this game, because, yeah, it is kind of short, but it's a short game, but there is still a decent amount of stuff packed into it, like whether it be like the regular campaign or all these challenges that come with it.
Hey,
Are there
okay.
secrets to unlock?
Actually, since before we end off, I'll show off at least one tap breaker.
How are you gonna do it with key? Okay, I'm curious how this is gonna work on keyboard. Like, how well would the time work? And oh boy.
Oh.
Done.
Oh.
Ah, okay. So
That's it? You just click buttons and...
yeah, I can see on touchscreen this being like just how fast can you do it?
It's like playing Big Brain Academy all over again.
Huh.
But yeah, you could literally spend all the time in the world playing through this game, or just playing the actual game itself. The choice is okay. I would say the choice is yours, but technically the choice is more so if you're able to actually unlock these in the first place, which you have to do by playing the campaign.
The only thing I could think of when looking at this minigame is the age-old YouTube quote. Numbers, numbers, numbers.
Numbers, numbers, numbers.
Yay.
So yeah, no, thank you for sharing that though. That was an interesting little adventure to be taken on.
No problem. I honestly, again, I enjoyed my time with it and figured it was worth showing off, even if my commentary definitely could have been better.
I mean, you're the one playing it live, so it could happen. And but you pulled it off.
I pulled it off to the best of my ability, and hopefully, YouTube will still be nice to me, in spite of it, of literally just playing a game that's literally... We're literally just playing through an interactive Valencia soundtrack.
We're playing through a music video.
Exactly. So, yeah, with that said, we'll see y'all next time, in another world, in another bubble, in another... I don't know, something else that sounds is as magical.
James needs air. Bye.
Reach out and touch the grass.
Make me a sandwich.